Hi, my name's Alex Hutchinson, Creative Director of Far Cry 4, and you are watching Eurogamer.
Greetings Far Cry fans, Ian Higton from Eurogamer here with some more information about Far Cry 4, straight from the mouthhole of Alex Hutchinson, one of the guys what Gone Done made the game. In this video we'll be taking a little look at Shangri-La, a new trippy hippie setting for the series, full of floating islands and ghost-like enemies. I managed to grab a hands-on with one of the Shangri-La levels at this year's Gamescom, and one of the first things it reminded me of was the drugged-up dream sequences from Far Cry 3. So that got me wondering, how exactly does AJ get into Shangri-La? Is it through meditation, some kind of Nepalese magic mushroom, or just on the back of a dodgy tuk-tuk?
So it's interesting you say that they felt a little bit like the drug sequences in Far Cry 3, because that was part of the inspiration. We knew people liked them, but when you go back and you look at them, they're basically sort of exotic tunnels. There's no gameplay in them, you know what I mean? There's no new features that are on offer. It's just sort of an experience, a short experience. So one of the driving questions was, how can we get that exotic feeling and add some gameplay? So that was sort of the inspiration. How you get there is when we were writing the mythology of the country, what do these people believe in? Just trying to make the open world feel a little, more a little denser, a little more believable, a bit more like a real place. We wrote up a fictional religion for them, and what they believed in, and all that sort of stuff. And then we thought, well, it shouldn't just be statues in the corner and the odd painting. We thought, you should actually be able to go and visit it and feel it, and that's the second spot that it came from. And then finally, how you get into them is these weavings called tankers. So basically, they're pieces of art that you maybe have a bit of a smoke of the wacky tobacco, and then you meditate on these pictures which tell the story of the Kalanag, and then you go in and you experience that story.
At the end of the level, I had to free a gigantic bell which had been tethered to the ground. But what does that bell even do? What's the point of going to Shangri-La in the first place, and what is the actual benefit?
So the myth of Shangri-La is about a guy called Kalanag who freed the bells of enlightenment. So basically it's a journey of enlightenment that the player goes on as well, along the way uncovering new skills that they can take back into the main game. But each chunk of Shangri-La will end with you freeing one of these bells.
Well, I do love freeing bells. Wait, what? Okay, so it's not all rainbows and buttercups on AJ's mystical journey. Dotted around the temples are a host of demonic enemies determined to give him a bad trip. Each has their own special ability, like the Lurker, who summons dog-like creatures that explode when they get too close, or the double-hard arrow sponge boss-like Scorchers, whose special ability is to ruin your day by breathing fire all over your flammable little face. Why did you choose to populate Shangri-La with such weird warriors?
It becomes challenging after a while in terms of AI when you're only dealing with people and real-world weaponry to find new things to do with them that are exciting or challenging in different ways. So when we went to Shangri-La, we wanted enemies that sort of phase in and out, so you have to sort of track them by their footsteps in the water. We wanted enemies that breathe fire, because again, fire is such a key part of the Far Cry universe, and I think we do it quite well. So we were just trying to find enemy archetypes that could do more exotic things, but still push on the same core mechanics.
Luckily, AJ does have some help on his spirit walk. He's got basic weaponry in the form of a knife for some close-up, stabby action, and a magic bow which can slow down time. And he's also got a familiar, in the form of an armoured white tiger who obeys your every command. Which all sounds a little bit far-fetched to me.
The beauty of a more exotic moment like Shangri-La is that we can do things that you couldn't fit into the real world of the game, or the more realistic version of the game. So, we have the bow, and it has some more exotic powers like time dilation. And we also like the idea of a familiar. Animals are such a key part of the Far Cry universe, but at the same time, in the real world, we can't really have your monkey companion that you can order about. So we thought this was one of those rare spots we could squeeze it in. So pretty early on, you find him, and after that, you help him out, and after that, you can give him basic orders to sort of attack the enemies and help you.
The Shangri-La level I played placed a heavy emphasis on stealth and planning, and quietly tracking the mysterious forces of the Rakshasa is still reminiscent of the vanilla type of Far Cry 3 gameplay where you try to liberate outposts without raising an alarm. However, the added ability to distract or attack your foes with the tiger at the touch of a button is a nice addition and is a necessity when trying to tackle the Scorchers, who can't be brought down by one solitary arrow to the face. The magical mystery tour setting of Shangri-La does seem like a novel way to give the gameplay a nice twist and allow the player to experience and do things they couldn't if the game was set only in Karat, but played out of context and as a small snippet like my hands-on was, the experience felt rather disjointed and odd, and possibly a little bit too desperate to be different. Here's hoping that upon release, the developers will have tied it all into the main narrative well enough that frequent trips to Shangri-La are not too jarring. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Eurogamer for more Far Cry news and many more gaming related videos in the very near future. Goodbye.